Hello everyone, welcome back to Blacksmith Studios. My name is Jack and today we will be talking about the possible cameos that may appear in Daredevil Born Again. Now, Daredevil comes out tomorrow for me as of doing this video and I cannot wait for it. But I thought I'd go through a few ideas of who may not appear in the series just to get us all hyped up. Firstly, there is apparently a reference to Spider-Man in this series, but Spider-Man cannot appear. Even though we all want him to, Spider-Man is not allowed to appear due to the contract between Sony and Marvel. Spider-Man has 3 solo projects and 3 team-up projects. Of course, his own trilogy, as well as Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, and a 3rd project. One of my subscribers noted that it could be a Fantastic Four sequel. While that is definitely a possibility, could be any other project. It could even be another Avengers movie. I mean, this one has come a lot quicker than the last Avengers movie has come along, so you know, there's a possibility for that. But anyway, let's get into some of the people that may or may not appear. First is Echo. Now, Echo is, of course, the niece to Wilson Fisk, Kingpin. And in fact, it is through the Hawkeye series, where Echo was one of the antagonists, where Wilson Fisk was reintroduced into the MCU. Following that, the Echo series brought Wilson Fisk into the fray as well, and Daredevil made a cameo in that series. So, is it possible that Echo could make a cameo in Daredevil Born Again? Well, yeah, of course it is. I think that she could definitely make a cameo or at least a reference from Fisk. So, yeah, I could definitely see Echo playing a part, and it would be really cool if Echo joined a new version of the Defenders later down the line. Next is Miss Marvel. Now, her father is in the series, as seen in the trailers. I'm not too sure where his role comes in. I suspect it's for a very small role. But it is possible that with him coming in, Miss Marvel could also make an appearance in some way. It could be Kamala Khan herself without her suit and things like that, or it could be Miss Marvel. There were rumors, and I believe it is still part of the plot in a sense. Fisk has started a vigilante group, basically taking out vigilantes in New York, of course Spider-Man being one of them, but with Miss Marvel being over the river in Jersey City, it could be that she could fall under this, regime that Wilson Fisk has. Another hero that could appear is Kate Bishop. Now, of course, Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop began the Young Avengers at the end of the Marvels, so it is possible that they will be busy during the series, but Kate Bishop is based in New York, and of course, she was part of that Hawkeye series, which reintroduced Fisk, so I wouldn't be surprised if she was involved in the plot in some way, or at least referenced. Next is Claire Temple. Claire Temple was a major player in the original Daredevil series back on Netflix, so I could definitely see her being reintroduced. I believe she sort of went off on her own way during that series, but yeah, she could definitely come back at some point during this new series, or even a second series. I do hope that Claire Temple does reappear. Next is Elektra. Now, I do believe Elektra and Daredevil were caught up in the collapse into that pit, I believe. If I'm remembering correctly, Daredevil obviously survived, but Elektra's body was never found. Now, Elektra cannot just die like that. We definitely need Elektra in the MCU going forward, so I think for sure, more than the others that I mentioned so far, Elektra will be reintroduced into the MCU in Born Again, and will be set up as part of the plot for the next season. That is my hope. Next, a Defender, Luke Cage. Now, Luke Cage's Harlem Paradise is referenced in the Daredevil teaser, so I can see Luke Cage being referenced heavily, or at least seen in this series, and it would be absolutely fantastic to obviously have him back as well. Whether or not he does, I don't know, but I really, really want Luke Cage in this series, and it's definitely a distinct possibility. From that, another Defender, Iron Fist. Now, Iron Fist series wasn't quite well received. That's the other Netflix series. But it is possible that Iron Fist will make some sort of reference, or maybe even his MCU debut in this series. Part of me hopes that the Daredevil Born Again Season 1 will obviously kick off Daredevil now officially being part of the MCU, but will tease a Luke Cage and Iron Fist project called Heroes for Hire. A lot of people want this, and I would absolutely love a Heroes for Hire spin-off series with Luke Cage and Iron Fist. I would absolutely love that. And you could have the same actor for the Iron Fist, or you can have a different actor. I think a lot of people love the actor for Luke Cage, and a lot of people did like the actor for Iron Fist as well. I think he was just given bad material to work with, so it wasn't really fair. But there's definitely a possibility. The next is Jessica Jones. Now, a lot of people want Jessica Jones to have her own series in the MCU, and whilst I definitely agree, I'm not too sure if she'll play any role in this series yet. But by the end of this series, I think it would be great if Daredevil Born Again started off Season 2, as well as 2 other shows. Of course, we know about the Punisher series, special that's in the works. So why not have a Heroes for Hire carrying on Luke Cage and Iron Fist, story, and a brand new Jessica Jones spin-off, separate, like a Born Again revival for Jessica Jones. I think that would be fantastic. I think any of the Defenders turning up is definitely a possibility. While maybe not a super high possibility, it's definitely one of the highest possibilities out of all the characters that we've mentioned already. And having a setup for a Defenders sequel series, revival series down the line is definitely a possibility as well. I'm really excited to see what other characters turn up. But I think the Defenders, if they don't turn up, they will definitely be referenced. Next is Bucky Barnes. Now, Bucky Barnes is now the congressman, I believe, for New York as of Captain America Brave New World. So it is possible that he could turn up in a news interview to try and fill out the world building of the MCU currently, especially leading into the Thunderbolts. Now, I don't really think Bucky Barnes will turn up, but I definitely think it's possible that he could be referenced. But yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on that. Then there's, similarly, Val. Val is another character, obviously, going to be in Thunderbolts, and obviously has, she's working in New York currently, so she could definitely be part of Fisk's plot in Daredevil Born Again. I could definitely see Val being part of the series in some way, helping Fisk out, or even Fisk helping her out when it comes to the building of the Watchtower of New York. It completely depends on how the series goes and how much they want to connect it with what's going on in the MCU going forward with Thunderbolts, but Val could definitely appear or at least be referenced. I think it would be good if Val was had a connection to the plot of the series, making Val feel more like a connected villain in the MCU, but of course that just depends. Next is a new White Tiger. Specifically, I believe it's Ava, who is the younger sister of the White Tiger that we're going to be seeing in Born Again. Now, sadly, the actor behind the White Tiger in Born Again has sadly passed away. I believe he passed away through cancer, I believe. And it's terrible, of course, but obviously he's still part of the plot. He's still an important part of the plot, otherwise they would have removed him. So it begs the question, what's going to happen with the White Tiger mantle? Well, in the comics, his younger sister takes up the mantle of White Tiger. A lot of people know the White Tiger from the animated Ultimate Spider-Man series. Me specifically, I do. So I think better than, just leaving the character to sort of die out, it would be really cool if the new White Tiger passes on the mantle to his younger sister in the series, allowing White Tiger to be a character going forward, and still carrying on to the sort of legacy that the White Tiger actor has already began. So yeah, I think more likely than some of the other characters we mentioned, a younger Ava could definitely turn up in this series and take on the mantle of White Tiger. I would absolutely love that. And finally, a lot of people will not like this, but She-Hulk could appear in the series. With Daredevil obviously appearing in her series, it is possible that She-Hulk could appear in Daredevil series. I do not think so. I think Matt has moved on from She-Hulk. I think Jennifer Walters could be referenced, or there could be a nod to her moving to New York to help her cousin, or to continue her law firm or start a law firm. Or we could see her join Murdoch, Fogg, Nelson and Page That's a complete possibility. But I do not think that Marvel will want to waste a lot of money on special effects for She-Hulk in this series. I think it's a lot cheaper to do what they've done, and obviously what they're doing is working. And I think throwing She-Hulk in there just doesn't make sense. But yeah, just a quick recap. The characters that I believe are more likely to appear are the Defenders. We are definitely going to get some sort of Defender or even Elektra turn up in this series. I really want Elektra to turn up at the end of this series, still alive. And I would definitely love a setup for a Luke Cage and Iron Fist Heroes for Hire series, as well as a Jessica Jones revival series as well. And to add on, if a new White Tiger takes up the mantle, that's even better. But I definitely want the street level of Marvel to set up Fisk being this Thanos of the grounded stories of the MCU. And honestly, I cannot wait for the series. I really cannot wait to see who may or may not turn up. Or even if Marvel are planning to bring in some Marvel characters from deep into Marvel lore that we're not even aware of, it's really exciting to think about the series. And even if none of these characters turn up, it doesn't matter. We're getting Daredevil back in the MCU, and I cannot wait. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Which one of the names have I mentioned that you think will not turn up? Which ones do you think could turn up? Who do you think will turn up? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you like this video, then please like and subscribe for more content like this. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers, so any help will be greatly appreciated. Once we hit 500, well, I've decided to release the Spider-Man 4 pitch before 500, but if we can get as close as we can to 500 by the time I release it, that will be greatly appreciated. But yeah, thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you all have a great day.